Dear parents, welcome to my channel. We are going to show you how to feed your newborn baby using a paladay, which is otherwise called Gokarnam. First of all, let me tell you, this is not a new discovery. This paladay is not a new discovery. It is not a medical invention. In Hindi, it is called a chirag and has been in use as an oil lamp for puja. And earlier grandmothers started using it, using its metallic version to give medicines to babies and also feed the babies. So it is better to say that we healthcare professionals copied it from our grandees. For the sake of maintaining breastfeeding, it is best not to introduce feeding bottle because feeding from feeding bottle is so effortless that the baby will refuse to accept breast once it is used to bottle feeding. Hence the importance of using paladay or Gokarnam in cases where direct breastfeeding is not feasible. So now you know why we are recommending paladay. Feeding expressed breast milk using paladay becomes a necessity. For example, when the baby is very sick and is in the nursery, or prematurely born baby like 32 to 34 weeks or so, or the mother is too sick to feed the baby. In such situations, the express milk become the option, and the method of feeding is paladay or otherwise called Gokarnam. As you see in the video, paladay feeding is faster, easier, and less spillage as compared to spoon feeding. Now let's come to the procedure of paladay feeding. First of all, wash your hands. You will see a very elaborate process of washing in this video. That is basically because it is a newborn nursery where we are taking care of many babies with various diseases and infections. But at home, ordinary soap and water cleaning is all that is necessary. Now the paladay and the container of milk must also be sterilized. Best it is put in water and boiled for 20 minutes is what is medically recommended, but that is important only in an area like hospital where infections are likely. At home, a shorter period is also acceptable. Here you see a very big container for milk. That is basically because in nursery we have so many babies to be fed. But at home, you have only one baby, so a small container is all that is necessary. Only thing is it should be sterilizable, like a stainless steel tumbler or something. This paladay is not costly at all. So you can buy multiple number of paladays and boil them all at once in the morning, so that all day you can use these paladay without further sterilization. So that will help save fuel cost of repeatedly boiling before each feed. Here in hospital, we exactly measure the amount of milk that is poured into the Gokarnam using a sterile, that is disposable syringe. That is basically because all the sick babies and very premature babies, it's very important how much milk is given to the baby, because how much milk is accepted by the baby is depending on the maturity of the baby and the condition of the baby. However, at home, this is not very essential. You can just note down how many Gokarnams of feed the baby has taken per feed or per day. Gokarnam, generally the capacity is around 15 to 20 ml. So we'll have a rough idea. A baby's sucking movement is such that the middle part of the tongue is raised to press the areola to express the milk. So since the movement is coming that way, when you're feeding, some spillage is unavoidable. It is better to tie a bib around the neck, or any clean cloth is all that is necessary to take care of this spillage. Feeding is most successful when the baby is alert and awake, as you see in this case. Hold the baby in a semi-upright position, around about 45 degrees or so. When you touch the side of the mouth, the baby turns to that side in search of milk with an open mouth. This is medically called rooting reflex, and we can make use of it to start feeding. That's the protruding edge of the palatai to the side of the mouth, and as the baby opens the mouth, tilt a little bit so that a few drops of milk goes into the mouth. Once the baby finds the milk inside, it will start sucking and swallowing. And once it starts, you observe the sucking and swallowing carefully, and depending on the vigor of sucking, you can tilt the gogarnam as is necessary to pour required amount of milk into the mouth. And the gogarnam should not be very cold when you touch the baby's mouth, because in that case, the baby may not open the mouth. That generally doesn't happen because the milk is generally lukewarm. You must tilt the gogarnam little by little, but here the baby is so vigorous that tilting very frequently is acceptable, and the baby has finished in no time. If the baby's cry is due to hunger, the moment the milk reaches the mouth, it just stops crying and starts sucking, as you can see in this clip. Especially in premature babies, it's very important that you cover the baby as is shown in this picture to avoid getting cold. Medically, we call it as hypothermia, which is very bad for the health of the baby. Now see what happens when the baby has had enough milk. Sucking and swallowing almost stopped and the baby is sort of dozing. So remove the palatai now. Now try to give it again, try to give the palatai again. The baby will not open the mouth. So that means the baby doesn't need more milk. Do not insist on finishing all the milk that you have prepared. Give only what the baby needs. Whatever is left behind, in fact, the mother can consume. After feeding, make sure that you properly birth the baby. During birthing, a little bit of regurgitation is expected, and that will just flow out. And that is why we keep the baby in these positions. You have seen two positions, both are acceptable. But if the baby is lying flat, this regurgitated fluid or milk may go in wrongly, like into the windpipe and all, and cause problems. So that is why we must burp as is shown in these video clips. After feeding, babies generally doze out, generally sleeps. So even while you are burping, the baby may have already slept. Wash palatai immediately after feeding. Do not wait for the next feed, for the time of the next feed to wash these palatai, because if some drops of milk is remaining in the palatai, microbes will grow. So it is always best to prevent microbe growth. Hope this video convinces the mothers who have had doubts whether they'll be able to feed their newborn baby using palatai. Thank you for watching.